Okay. Good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to the webinar. Today's session is about a topic that is slowly starting to affect many businesses, be it the rising fuel costs or the shipment delays or the change in the trading patterns and the pressure on the working capital because of the war that is happening in the West Asia. Even though these are the global developments, many MSMEs of our country are feeling the impact because of these higher costs as well as the uncertainty in the business operations for them. So we will closely discuss on how these global changes are affecting, what you should closely watch, and the impact. And this impact you can understand and prepare better the next time when these situations occur again. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce the speaker. Today's session will be led by Indumati, who is a finance and legal expert with an experience of over 2 decades. She worked closely with MSMEs, startups, and corporates and brings a good understanding into how these situations, how these economic situations will affect businesses and what they can prepare in advance to not face the challenges. So, without any further delay, please, Indu, take over. Indu,
Thanks,
you're on mute.
Forex.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're able to hear me now, Vasundhara?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Vasundhara, for those interesting words and intro. So, without much ado, let's dive into our topic, which is West Asia conflict. So, first of all, good morning to everybody for attending this session. See, right now we are not going to discuss about the geopolitical situation. So that is a different type of analysis. We are going to see the impact this West Asia conflict is going to make or already making. It's already making for many industries. For other industries also, it has started to, and slowly the impact is being seen at different phases for different MSMEs and different industries, because it is not going to affect every MSME in the same way. It is going to affect them in different ways. Okay, so it's we'll go through one by one and understand how it is affecting the businesses. So first thing, when you say why do you require this webinar, global conflicts today affect MSMEs indirectly and actually directly also. In one way, it's not only indirectly, directly through whether it is trade, because the whole world is a globe. We are in an interconnected, whole world is a village, and we are in an interconnected globe. So even a conflict which happens in one part of the globe affects the whole of the world. So this West Asia's crisis or the conflict, it affects the whole of the world and it affects our MSMEs too. So it affects different parts of the MSMEs. The part which we can very clearly see is the rise in fuel prices, of course, from the common man to MSMEs to our large companies. Everybody is, of course, affected by it, which is directly seen. And due to the increase in the fuel prices, there is a freight cost increase. And of course, Forex market is volatile. Customers are becoming very cautious. These are all the impact of this conflict. Some of the MSMEs may not face these conflicts directly, but they will see through the economic impact, and you will feel the cash flow pressure. So it starts with something like a West Asia conflict, which happens in one part of the world, and then it moves on to, okay, oil cost increases. If you are importing or exporting product, you will definitely know already the freight cost has increased and your insurance cost has increased. Forex valuation goes up and down. There is a huge supply chain pressure. Then higher costs are there and you cannot expect the shipment on time, and ultimately your cash flow gets impacted. So what is happening in West Asia? First thing, it started as a regional tension. Then it became an ongoing geopolitical conflict because it is going on. It started somewhere in end February and it's still going on. We don't know when it's going to end. And there is a severe uncertainty in the region. There is a rising uncertainty in the region. And global markets are more sensitive now because trade happens all over the world, and we are a much connected world than before. So the markets have become more sensitive. The conflict, it mainly affected the shipping routes. Okay, there is a huge pressure on global shipping routes. Due to this, freight cost increased, logistic cost increased, again insurance cost increased, air cargo increased. All this have increased. Now energy, yes, I mean, we don't even have to say petrol, gas, everything. The oil market volatility, it's too volatile. You don't know how much it is going to be. There will be increase, and suddenly one day it will decrease. And again, the Forex movement also in the same way, it is uncertain. That's a heavy cost pressure across industries. It's a flow effect. So now let's see why MSME should care. First thing is suppliers. You may have a delayed shipment due to many reasons. One, you might be importing the product, and the product may not come at the appropriate time from the supplier due to route change in shipping, or the air cargo costs more. So they are waiting for some better days to ship it to you. Or it may also happen the local person, one who is going to bring you for the last minute delivery to your place, his vehicle doesn't have gas. It runs on gas and he doesn't have gas. He has to wait in a long queue, due to which he is delaying it, and due to which your production gets stuck. When your production gets stuck, your laborers are standing without any work. Part has to come to you. It has not come. Factory is running. You have to pay the labor cost, but production is not happening. So finally, after all this delay, all this cost pressure, you have decided to push your product out, freight increase. Because again, fuel cost has increased, insurance will increase, unpredictability is there. So freight cost automatically increases. Due to all these increases, not only this, again, you have another one problem from your customer. The customers will be very, very cautious on spending during these testing times. The customers whom you thought that, okay, definitely I will get this order, may not be so forthcoming because their plans have changed, because they also have the same delay, same cost pressure, same freight increase. So they would have turned to cautious spending. Even after you convince your customer, finally you have sold something to your customer, the payment, cash flow delay will be there. So these are the problems which some MSMEs have already started facing. Cash flow, of course, you all know very much about the cash flow, which definitely is a topic of separate area only, where you get payment delays. Everywhere you go, there is payment delays. There is no doubt about it, because of the scale of the SMEs. We do get payment delays. So apart from the payment delays, you also have to face these problems now. So the aim of this webinar is not to scare you. This is just to enrich you with the knowledge of what is there currently and how you can be prepared to face the scenario. So when we take the impact on the manufacturing MSMEs, raw material volatility has been quite huge. It's affecting the market directly. You can see with different prices of the products, steel products, many things have increased. Transport cost has increased. And one of the major thing which I actually, when we were into this, we were discussing with the different manufacturing sector, where the major problem which we see is the component delay or the tools delayed, due to which the assembly is getting affected. So you also have the inventory planning challenges. How much I should order, how long. I mean, if I was predicting somewhere before, okay, 15 days before I order, now I have to plan 30 days before, which blocks my cash too. So inventory planning challenges are there. Of course, quotation validity issue, because if your MSME is something which picks your price, raw material price for variation, like you have a 5% change in price, then it has to be renegotiated. Then your quotation validity itself has to be discussed. That is, of course, the margin pressure too. So first thing, manufacturing enterprise, if it is any manufacturing MSME, first pressure you will face is the cost pressure. That's the first pressure you will face. Because when you want to do your incoming raw material come, you will see the raw material price would have increased, even the freight cost would have increased for the raw material, or the component cost would have increased. Components are getting delayed. So cost pressure will be there first. This is the first signal your industry has got impacted. And then supply chain inconsistency. The deliveries don't come as you expected. So your planning will become totally difficult. Freight escalation, you should see the importers, almost all the importers has seen the freight escalation during a short period of time. Shipping was not possible, air cargo escalated, insurance costs become higher. They have to pay because you need to produce and then finally meet your customer order. But your margins will come under pressure. There is a huge unpredictability, operational unpredictability. All of this has already happened to manufacturing MSMEs, where they have planned for other measures of how to ease it out. And for some manufacturing MSMEs, it's happening. They're yet to have the knowledge of it is happening to them. For some manufacturing MSMEs, it has not yet started. So you have the MSMEs in different categories, where slowly it is starting for some MSMEs. For some MSMEs, it is happening, but they have not found out. But they have just started finding out the cost pressure, starting point. They have started finding it out. Some manufacturing MSMEs have already started facing it. The more they have the import, export, Forex exposure, they would have already started facing it. So it depends upon in which area or industry you are in, you would have started feeling the pressure. So when it has impacted the manufacturing MSMEs in this way, impact on export-oriented MSME, it's something mind-blowing. Okay, so first thing is Forex currency exposure. Shipment uncertainty. Now, export pricing pressure. Yeah, just now we faced tariff problem. Thankfully, we have FTAs now, free trade agreements, and then with European countries. But that is another market opening. This is something where you have to be prepared on. So when I say tariff pressure, we have to tariff pressure from US, and certain industries were more affected. But India has entered into free trade agreements with different European countries, which is something which every MSME, export-oriented MSME, can particularly diversify their market. Even though Forex is volatile, you can diverse in that area also. But that's not going to reduce your foreign currency exposure, shipment uncertainty, or pricing pressure. But just that's another market to explore. That's it. Logistic cost, insurance premium, all this has increased. When you have a Forex volatility, definitely you will face a pricing uncertainty and margin pressure bhi hota hai. There is no doubt about it. First, see, manufacturing MSME, they start with cost pressure. When you are an export oriented MSME, you start with the Forex pressure. So where it starts differs, but it impacts you ultimately. So when we see and discuss with different export oriented MSMEs, they highlight the concerns, high Forex exposure, and also air freight cost escalation. If you want to supply your product, you cannot use within the time of delivery is very important in the many of the export oriented contract. Otherwise you may have to face the penalty clause. So you will try to do it by air freight. So the cost escalation is there. Due to unpredictability, risk becomes higher, insurance cost also becomes higher. Margin ultimately gets affected. So now we have seen manufacturing, export oriented MSME. What about domestic MSMEs? They can already feel the impact. Hotels and food, the area which has already got impacted. Commercial LPG, yes, so it has already got impacted, and transport cost pressure is too high. And if you are giving an industrial service, if you are an MSME who is giving an industrial service, people will try to delay the procurement, because for them that service feels like an extra cost. They will try to postpone that procurement, and they will be very, very cautious about the expansion also. Same problem with textile sector also. Shipment problem is there, export pricing uncertainty is there, and of course fertilizer and chemicals totally, when you are dependent more on fuel for the fertilizer, it's energy linked pricing, so there will be volatility. So all this are impacted, all the MSMEs in every areas are impacted. So you can see many of the MSMEs reported all these things, starting from shipping delays for imported material. It cost increased, and they were not sure when the delivery was going to come. Production line was waiting, as I was saying. Then landed cost became too high. Customer is also one side pressurizing. So all this has happened in the industry. It has been observed. So one thing we should understand as an MSME is business change drastically during uncertainty. We are facing a very drastic time. I mean, see 2021 COVID, and then now we are coming across this West Asia conflict. So you would have now prepared the base in 2021 for how to face this uncertainty. Now again, we should not forget it. So we are getting another uncertainty here. So in a stable condition, you can go in for a predictable pricing. You will have stable deliveries. Import deliveries are very, very stable, and you can plan very easily. Payment, we say faster, but it is not faster at any time for MSME, known fact. Payments are better, but then now it will be further slower, and demand will be normal in a stable condition. But when you come across the uncertainty, you will have volatile pricing. Delivery delays are more. Okay, in some of the cases, shipment has been delivered too late, like 120 days delayed delivery were also there. When cost become very important, then you will try to push the delivery where it is cheaper, because you have to face the margin pressure. It depends upon, it's a balance, what you want to do. But anyhow, it has to be a planned balance. You will have inventory concerns, slower payments, and every customer will be very, very cautious to spend. So here, not only your cost, but there will be an overall change in the business itself. There will be a financial caution in and around the market. So in this situation, what are the 5 areas which every MSME should monitor? The first which you have to monitor is, if you are whether export oriented or domestic oriented MSMU, but if you are a manufacturing MSMU, first thing you have to notice is your raw material prices. You have to monitor it. So when you have to see the raw material prices, what it means? It means is not only just seeing the raw material prices, also seeing the quotation you have signed. You might have signed a quotation for 3 months, 5 months, depending upon the type of material, chemical, whatever it is. So depending upon the type of material, you would have signed various contracts. So you need to decide whether anything needs to be reviewed in that quotation, or your vendors are going to ask for any review of the quotation, how you are going to negotiate with them. That plan you should have. That's as far as the raw material prices are concerned. And similarly, what also you can think about is your inventory planning along with your raw material prices. You need to balance both. Just because you are foreseeing that raw material prices are going to increase after 2 months or 3 months, you cannot pile up your inventory. So you need to balance it out. But in order to take a better decision, you need to start monitoring the raw material prices. Next thing which you have to monitor is your freight and logistics cost. What is the transport cost, and also what is the delivery timeline? What is there any fixed delivery timeline, or you are going to bear any risk on the transport? That's another part which you have to take care. Forex movement, is there any hedging possible? Can you somehow preserve yourself for your import and export pricing fluctuations? Forex movement is there. Can anything be done? That area should be explored. Customer payment. See, customers will be very, very cautious in spending in this type of unpredictable market situation. So expect low spending from the customer, and also receivables which are already delayed will be further delayed more. That is also to be expected. And at this type of situation, what is very important for you is the reliable supplier. If you are getting a reliable supplier who can supply to you consistently, go ahead with it, because something is predictable at an unpredictable time. You can also be, in fact, serve as such a supplier who is more reliable. Your customers will be happy for your consistency. These are the 5 areas which you should really monitor as an MSME. So what I should do now? First, financial preparedness. For anything, this is very important. You start monitoring your receivables. Very important, even during predictable times. Monitoring receivables are very, very important. Review your working capital situation. It may not be same as before, so you need to review it, whether it is changing. For some MSMEs, it has already started changing. For some MSMEs who has not started facing this problem, you should start tracking it more so that you can see whether something has started changing in your business. So review your working capital. Avoid unnecessary leverage like piling up your inventory. Now, how do I prepare? This is for the financial preparedness, where you regularly monitor receivable, review the working capital situation, avoiding unnecessary leverages. Now, how do you prepare operationally? Track your inventory, because there will be a lot of market insight about how this particular raw material price is going to increase, or how this chemical price is going to increase within a span of another 7 days. So better to pile up the inventory. So before taking such a drastic action, check how much of inventory is actually required for you, how much cash you will be blocking by purchasing that inventory or purchasing that material. See, why this is very important, why this operational preparedness and planning for your inventory is very important is you first see your customer orders. The customer orders may not be more forthcoming like before. So plan your inventory also with a balance. Don't pile up the inventory assuming that, okay, my customer is going to come like last year. or he is going to come like the previous year. It may happen, it may not happen also, because times are unpredictable. Your customers may become more cautious. So balance your inventory, track your inventory. Just don't take decisions on some spoof information available. This is going to go high, that is going to go high. Even if you're getting that information, analyze first whether it is true and how it is going to impact you financially, and then take your decision. Another thing which MSMEs can really do is reduce your wastage in the shop floor. If you're a manufacturing enterprise, if you're a service enterprise, with the time, with quality of work, reduce your wastage. Improve cost control mechanism in every step, every area. The cost control should be there from the bottom of your company right to the top. You need to identify alternate supplier. This is the right time. If there is an option for you to go with the domestic suppliers, this is the right time to do it. If you are importing some components or tools, and if you feel that some supplier can be developed here in India, this is the right time. So instead of depending upon one supplier from a country to supply you a tool or a component, start looking for domestic alternatives. You will have far more better predictability. Speak with your customer how you are more predictable, where you can maintain the delivery timelines. So review the quotation validity. This has to happen on both sides, the supplier side also, customer side also. You need to review your quotation which you have already entered with them. You should see the price escalation clauses if you have not seen already. So these three are something which you must do for your business day-to-day basis, but more now because the business environment is unpredictable. Then information preparedness. You need to follow RBI's updates, DGFT, any custom duty updates are there. Freight, Forex monitoring has to be done. You need to also track the policy changes. Of course, here you all very well know that IRIS helps you to track the policy changes and follow different updates from customs, GST, and tax perspectives. So where does the real MSME risk come from? Cash flow stress. So MSMEs actually, when you struggle, it is not because of the order stop, but your liquidity will be more tightened. One side, receivable delay will be there. Receivable delay is there, inventory gets blocked, you enter into a working capital pressure. Operational pressure will become too high, due to which you have to face the margin pressure also. This is the risk, and this is the cash flow stress you will face. So how the government is responding in this? Of course, you will know about the ECLGS, or the working capital, ECLGS 5, working capital support scheme, which has been announced by the government. It is for the temporary liquidity assistance during such an unpredictable time. And then import cost impact. See, you should be, if you are having if you are in manufacturing MSME who is importing certain raw material, it is imperative for you to maintain a cost sheet including all the cost of it, and in Indian rupee, in Forex valuation also you need to take care of it, plus the customs duty. How much is the customs duty for each product, and which is getting changed, and are there any pricing implication, procurement implication? All this or the policy response which the government will take, which you need to monitor on a regular basis. Another thing which you have to see is freight and shipping monitoring. Which shipping routes are cheaper? Maybe you are involving a third party. You need to check with them depending upon your delivery urgency to route through certain shipping route and not to route through shipping. Do an air cargo. That depends upon your customers. You need to plan accordingly. Even though there is a regular update from the government as far as the freight shipping is concerned, it is also duty for us. If we want to reduce the cost, we need to check which routes are cheaper for us or where the freights are cheaper. The government also generally, when they respond, they also respond in the way of liquidity monitoring, banking system stability, and to give financial confidence. So all these policy updates are available with Iris, which you can, of course, if you have downloaded the Peridot app, you can check in that all the government and policy responses related thing. So as an MSME, what I should do? See, one thing which happens always is whenever the government comes with any form of credit guarantee scheme, then immediately you will be calling to your CAs or you will be calling to whoever has got you the loan for the first time and check with them. See, this guarantee scheme has come. Should I do something with it? Now, before asking that question to them, check whether you really need that money. Don't go for impulsive borrowing. See, when you borrow, anyhow, you are going to pay the interest. First, monitor your working capital. Check whether you require that loan. Then go for the loan. Don't go for impulsive borrowing. See, excess cash always give you some sort of, I'm safe. This is an unpredictable time. I'm having excess cash, so I am safe. Don't go with that mindset. You may be safe now, but for that money which you are having safe for your safety, security, you are going to pay the interest for it. So that is a tomorrow's cash stress problem. So for your security, don't assume that, okay, fine, I will do a borrowing today. Another panic reaction, which generally will happen during this time, particularly in import, is excess inventory stocking. You would have seen the air freight cost has increased, insurance cost has increased. Then you will plan like, okay, let my shipment come after 3 months. I don't have a problem. Let it come through that particular shipment route, but I want this much quantity. You will order a batch size which is quite more than what you normally order. See whether you really require that for the production and then order. Whether you have customers, then order. You want urgently cash? You are in a cash flow crunch? You will price your product very low because you require cash now. It's an emotional pricing decision which will happen. See, this should not be emotional. It should be very flexible for you. You should have the operational flexibility. You go with the mindset of, okay, I will be prepared for the pricing, whatever be it. I will be prepared for the pricing. Operational response will be delayed when you are panicked. You're not getting the material, but you want to supply to the customer on this particular day. What am I going to do? You are tensed. You will do whatever you're supposed to do and whatever you're not supposed to do. But when you are prepared, you know that, okay, this import is going to be a problem for next this many months because of this crisis. You start looking for a supplier from different areas. And your decision cannot be reactive in the current days because you all know you have very good competitors. Your response to change must be much fast. So from this webinar, the main key takeaways which I feel you should take is remember that any global disruptions, whatever it is, it affects all our MSMEs. Whether directly it may affect you indirectly. Cost, logistics, pricing, insurance, uncertainty. It's like they spread very quickly. During this period, what is very, very important is your cash flow discipline, cash flow monitoring, receivable monitoring, planning is very important. Preparedness is very, very important. More than a prediction of how much is the steel price going to be, how much is the fertilizer going to cost, how much is the fuel price going to be, how the forex market is going up or down. More than all those prediction, your preparedness, if this happens, how we are going to handle this matters more. If you are a flexible MSME, you can adapt very faster to this disruption. Those who adapt always survive. Adaptation is very, very important. So the 5 areas for the MSME, monitor that and remember that businesses which always stay informed and they will whoever are financially disciplined, they will recover very fast. Okay, questions, Vasundra? Any questions? Vasundra?
Yeah, no, and we did not receive any question. We
Okay.
have one topic request which was about the forex chain. So I believe you have already covered mostly regarding the forex changes.
Right.
Yes, yes. So we don't have any questions as such more.
So if they want a separate topic, then it has to be through a different session.
Yes, yes, correct.
Okay. Okay, Vasundra.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you so
much.
much. Thank you, Indu. Thank you so much for this discussion. You gave a clear understanding on how these global changes are affecting. It's not just one sector, but almost every sector of the business. So thank you so much. Before we close, I want to highlight that Iris Peridot is now facilitating collateral-free loans for MSMEs in India. So you can apply through a single application to multiple lenders at the same time. The loans are given facilitated through RBI registered lending partners only. So it is very transparent and fully simple and convenient for you. Thank you so much for everyone attending this session. Please do let us know what topics you want us to cover next. We will be surely we will make sure that you get the right more helpful webinars. Thank you. Bye.